Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. Tune in for a vibrant mix of fashion, finance, and life's essential foundations. Join us for expert interviews, insightful discussions, and empowering insights to elevate your lifestyle. From fashion trends to financial tips and personal growth strategies, we've got you covered. So grab your headphones and get ready to be inspired. Tune in now to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show and embark on this exciting journey with us.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I'm your host, Marie Antoinette Waite, and we are here live on KCAA Radio Network. We are covering over 5 million households here in the greater Los Angeles, and we are affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports, and we are on your favorite streaming channels. Make sure you subscribe to Building Solid Foundations channel, and we are on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, and Android app. So today we have an amazing guest, and I'm really excited because he is one of our speakers at the Fire Up Live event, and he is a martial arts expert, business innovator, and strategist. So let's welcome Eric Campbell.
Hey, what's going on, Marie? How's it going? Thank you for having me.
Well, I love your outfit right now. It's like you got the pink, and I'm wearing pink today.
Right, great minds think alike.
Yeah, and you're from San Diego,
Correct.
Am I right?
San Diego, yeah.
Okay. And tell me a little bit about your background as being the business innovator.
Well, that's a great question. I mean, that's a good one. When it comes to business, I've been pretty much a lifelong entrepreneur, really figuring out the ebbs and flow of business and how to make things work. And it started off just with selling, basic sales stuff at a fitness gym. And then from there, just segueing into where we're at today. And there's a lot of good things out there once you make a decision to be an entrepreneur and really started to grow in sales, because you can pretty much make anything happen. So with thousands of books read, lots of courses, and a lot of hands-on experience, I've been able to really develop a lot of good business savvy and good techniques that work and are profitable today.
Oh, amazing, Eric. Thank you for being here, by the way. I know you've got a very busy schedule, but I love that you're here today. And for you out there, make sure that you check out Eric Campbell, because he's got a lot of things that he can share with you. I want to now introduce our second guest, and this guest of mine is an amazing person that I connected through the women's group. And he was so generous to be a part of our event, and he did some demonstration of karate or martial arts. So Daryl Johnson, our next guest, is the founder of HTK Krav Maga, and he's an amazing friend of mine, Daryl Johnson. Hi, Daryl. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Maria. Thanks for having me out.
So, Daryl, I know you were at my event at the Fire Up Live. So tell me a little bit about your background as being a martial expert.
Well, I started martial arts for my 18th birthday. I was an overweight kid. I wanted to get, into something that was not required me to hold a team up. So I got into martial arts, decided that, okay, this is great. My individual skills take me to an individual path. And then I got into teaching very early on. And I moved out to San Diego in 93 to run a school for another instructor. Then in 97, I opened my own academies, and I've been running academies since then. And now I put together my own system where I can now certify instructors, and I have a system of self-defense. That's what I always wanted, which is very realistic, very practical, and very accessible for everyone.
Wow, amazing. And how many students do you teach now?
We have an academy in San Diego. We have a few dozen students there. I have affiliate instructors in North Carolina, Orange County, Los Angeles. So there's hundreds probably, but over the years I've probably taught tens of thousands of people.
Okay. Well, I invited both of you here at the Fabulous Lifestyle because, as you know, Fabulous Lifestyle is about, educating our listeners in regards to how they can make their life better. And I thought that you were both at the Fire Up Live event last month. And I know, Eric, you were one of our speakers. And Daryl, you were there on my TV show talking about martial. So let me ask you first, what did you think about your experience with the Fire Up Live? I'll start with you, Eric.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool experience. There was a lot of great people, a lot of synergy, and there was a lot of great topics for anyone that wants to learn and really how to elevate their life and elevate their skill set. There was someone there to do it. And then when you brought on the keynote speaker, Glenn Morshower, I thought that was amazing. I mean, he really brought in, it was like a slam dunk on closing. And it was really just about how to be a better person, really just how to get out of your way and just enjoy life. And Glenn had mentioned something about the whispers, the whispers of doing things. And I think that's what the Fire Up Live was about. It was an overall great experience.
Okay, they were talking about Glenn Morshower, who is our keynote speaker, a Hollywood actor, and he was amazing.
He was.
It's
He was a
really
pretty cool
awesome.
guy.
And then Daryl, you were there also. What did you think about the event?
Well, I really liked the way it was a relatively intimate event. There wasn't tens of thousands of people. You can interact. And I love the fact that it was very entrepreneurial based. So if some people were in the audience, maybe they weren't entrepreneurs, but they probably would like to think about it after the show. And I really enjoyed doing this segment with your mother about the history of karate in the Philippines. That was really, really fun. And the speakers were all very genuine and accessible. So I was able to meet and greet everybody that was there. And I think that's really important if you're trying to find your way in the entrepreneurial space, is to be able to connect with somebody who resonates with the path that you're on.
Yeah. Well, the two of you have something in common. You're both in the martial arts. Yep. And from what I read from your bio, Eric, you have used your martial arts skills in terms of your business strategy.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I am curious about that. So can you further explain that to us?
Well, a lot of times I always say, prior preparation prevents piss poor performance. And that's part of a discipline of thinking. It's just being prepared. And martial arts allows you to be prepared for any situation that's out there. And you're able to go out and train. So it's like practice, drill, and rehearsing, which is one of the biggest things in sales and business. You practice, you drill, rehearse to be ready, to be prepared to be on time, to be prepared for that presentation. And that's where martial arts really has taught me that discipline of, what it's like to get smacked around. Because if you're in martial art, anyone that thinks they're always going to win, that's a big lie. Everyone loses. You get smacked around. It's what you do when you get smacked around and you're beat up. Do you stand up? Do you continue? Do you keep working? And a lot of people, once you start getting into martial arts, you learn how to develop that what I call a quiet confidence, where you're able to go, okay, I can rise up today and make something happen. It doesn't matter if I have a bad day, I'm still going to get up the next day and I'm going to go at it. And everyone that has any type of, years in martial arts, develop that mental aptitude. And then you can take that same aptitude, apply it to business, where you get those no's, you get those rejections. I mean, we've all faced it.
Yeah.
If you've been in that, then all of a sudden you're like, let me go try it again. I'm going to dust myself off. Let me try my moves. People say it's their katas, and us in jiu-jitsu is like, okay, let's try this again. Make sure we don't get choked out unconscious.
Yeah.
And you just go out, and that's how business is. It's like suiting up every day.
I like the word quiet confidence.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. I mean, if you really think about it, it's something that built in you. Mm-hmm. And people just, do you think people can just see it the way it is?
Well, they feel it. I think
Yeah.
Daryl can confirm with that, is that when you have someone that's confident, they don't need to go out and be braggadocious. Hey, look at me, look how awesome. They just walk in, you're just like, wow, there's a presence there. That
I
person
think
can
it's the posture,
Yeah.
the eye contact,
Yep.
and it's how they communicate. And I think that's what I was thinking of. Quiet confidence is, I've seen people where I can feel that, wow, I can see it already
Right.
without them talking. So, which is really amazing that you mentioned that. Now, Daryl, what did you think about it?
Well, it's funny you use the word presence, because that's exactly what I think you develop and when I do the coaching for martial arts. What I found over the 35 years I've been doing this is that people come for self-defense, or they want to get in shape, but what they leave with is the ability to focus and have a disciplined mindset to accomplish objectives.
Yep.
And the presence of knowing you can take care of yourself, you're not scared of every shadow, easily translates through body language. And and when I got into martial arts as an instructor, I started doing a lot of research on behavioral psychology and evolutionary psychology of what makes somebody attack somebody. And it became very apparent that if you have the awareness and you have the presence, which is the word I like to really use, you remove yourself from the category of victim, whether it's a female or a male. Mm-hmm. And the discipline you get from achieving difficult objectives, like, you want that next belt rank, you want to win a tournament. And as Eric mentioned, you will often fail. And learning how to deal with the failure and moving forward despite that is a powerful thing. And through the martial arts, most people that I've talked to that have done it for more than 6 to 9 months, they come to me like, hey, I really wanted self-defense, but I have something much, much more now.
Yeah.
I have the presence. I have the ability to overcome something. When I have a bad day at work, I don't just lose my stuff and, and go into a funk. Like, it's just one day. Tomorrow's going to start again. And I'll just overcome that obstacle the next time.
Well, I grew up with a family that is already embedded in karate because my grandfather was the founder of karate in the Philippines. And having my family, like my dad and my uncle, made over 100 karate movies, and my mom being the first female black belter, it's already embedded in me in terms of what it is. But for people that are not exposed to karate, what will be the trigger for them to really even consider learning karate?
Well, some people think they have a self-defense situation. They were in a situation where they felt uncomfortable. They, didn't know how to respond. And Krav Maga, that's what oftentimes what brings people to us. Or they have a family member, I want my daughter to learn this. But I think what a lot of people do is they want something that's different. They want to have a camaraderie, but maybe not in the usual way. They don't want to go to change them. So oftentimes what brings them into martial arts is that feeling of brotherhood or sisterhood of like, I want everybody, everybody's on the same team.
Yeah.
So even though it's an individual activity, your academy, your dojo, your studio is going to be on your side, and you have this powerful, positive peer group that will help you get through the tough times, whether it's physical, mental, or otherwise.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it that way. What about you, Eric? What do you think?
Just to piggyback, it's the community, because a lot of people over the years that I've trained and taught, a lot of them come from like they've never been challenged, like they don't realize actually how powerful they are. So they live in a psychology of fear. Once they come out and they actually start overcoming that, and what I always say, when you step on the mat, that is the most courageous individual. Once you step up there, when you show up in the dojo, that's probably the most courageous a person can be, because they're taking a step out and they're dealing with that fear.
Yeah.
And fear is a powerful tool. It can hold you back from living a very fabulous life, or you can actually overcome that fear. And then you can have that fabulous lifestyle, those great friends, those type of stuff. So when people come in, I've really had people that I will be sparring with, they've never fought, and they've always postured. You've seen that too, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
They'll posture. Once you get them in a fight, all of a sudden they're like, oh crap, the true nature of them comes out. And I've had a lot of people literally will start crying in my arms because they've never expressed themselves. Mm-hmm. But it's been like a very awakening experience for them, because now they're like, wow, I can do this. And now there's that confidence comes in. You see people that come in that are hunched over and overwhelmed, and all of a sudden they have some sparring sessions, they overcome. Now they're walking, there's a little skip in their step. They're smiling because they feel like, wow, I faced a fear, I overcame it, and it wasn't that bad. And I think for any of us that are instructors and teachers in the art, we'd like to see that in students, because we like to see them confident. We like to see them working through that. And the same thing when you've done your martial arts, when you feel good after a good session, you're like, wow, it's showing up that is the most challenging for every single person. But once you're done, it changes that whole psychology of us as people. And that's why I think martial art is so powerful, because using it, then you can segue that into business.
Okay.
That's how I always look at martial
Wow,
arts.
that's amazing. So there you go. I mean, these are awesome information from our two experts. And we're going to take a commercial break right now. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Waite and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Waite is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewaite.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
In Karate Legacy and the Power Within, we don't just teach karate techniques, we share the inspiring stories of incredible martial artists. Latino Gonzalez, the father of karate, paved the way for martial arts in the Philippines. His legacy lives on through his sons, Rolando and Roberto Gonzalez, who starred in over 100 Philippine karate movies, captivating audiences and bringing karate to the silver screen. Then we have Patricia Gonzalez, a symbol of strength and resilience. After overcoming her own battles, Patricia's journey embodies the spirit of perseverance. Her story encourages us to face our challenges head-on and emerge victorious. Each character in this book has a unique journey, friends and students who have dedicated their lives to mastering the art of karate. Their shared passion not only deepens their bond, but also strengthens their resolve to uplift one another. Through these compelling stories, Karate Legacy and the Power Within reveals the essence of karate: courage, unity, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Join us in celebrating these extraordinary individuals and discover the strength that lies within you. Grab your copy of Karate Legacy and the Power Within, available now on Amazon.
All right, welcome back to the Fabulous Lifestyle. And we are with our guests, Eric Campbell and Daryl Johnson. And in our last segment, we were talking about how people should consider karate as part of their lifestyle, right? Yep. And so, Eric, I wanted to kind of go more in terms of what you do as a business strategist.
Okay.
And I know that you spoke at the Fire Up Live, and what I learned from it is you've done a lot of like retirement, will, trust, things like that. So can you share a little bit more of why you do this and what people should know about it that is really important for them to consider?
Yeah. Again, when it comes to strategy, I really think it's, kind of like reverse engineering, kind of like how you want to finish your life. And a lot of people just go out and they try to like go make a few bucks and they're like, oh no, what do I do next? So I'm always teaching people, and I put this little book together. It's right here, as you can see.
Yeah.
Trust, Wills, and Estate Planning Made Easy.
Okay.
I put that together to kind of help people start with the end in mind. That's what I always share with Dr. Stephen Covey. If you 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talked about that. So when we think about what do we want with what we make, it makes business easier. So that's what the first strategy is, really kind of figuring out, what do I want to do when I become rich and famous? Or what do I want to do if I make that $1 million? And then how am I going to protect it? A lot of people don't know how to do that. They're just out there hustling, and all of a sudden they're 65 years old and they're like broke. And that is the most dismal way to live your life. So we're always teaching people on how to, okay, let's plan. Okay, if you're in business, well, then we start thinking about it. Okay, well, what do you want to do with that money? Do you just want to spend it on the next Lamborghini, or do you want to put it into an investment portfolio? Do you want to strategize your life to be successful? However, it is important to determine what is success for you, because everyone wants to be someone else. But I say, stop. Focus on you. What's success for you, Marie? And what's success for Daryl? And what's success for me? 3 different things. And most people never get clear on that.
So do you help them kind of focus on what is success for them? I mean, are you really like coaching too?
Well,
at the same time?
See, a lot of times that I look at business, like we're always coaching. We're always coaching our clients into something, because we're encouraging them to buy a service or a product, jump in and go through a certification. We're coaching them, we're teaching them. So it's the same way. We're always like, hey, well, how do you want to, I always use this as a fun thing. I go, what do you want to be when you grow up? And people are like, what do you mean? I'm like 40 years old or something like that. I'm like, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? Mm-hmm. And when people start thinking about it, it really kind of allows them to start getting clear. Clarity is essential, because if you confuse, you'll lose. And most people don't understand that. And how many times you've walked into someone that says they're confused, and you're like, uh-oh, that means they have no really clear strategy. So as a strategist, as a coach, I'm like, let's get clear. So some of the 3 things that I always help people start with clarity is, one is like, let's do a Myers-Briggs test. And we've heard about that, right?
Yes.
Take your Myers-Briggs test. And there are people like, why do I want to do a Myers-Briggs test? I go, well, let's find your baseline operating system. Then we do another thing called Strength Finders. What is your top themes in life? If you don't know how good you are, what's your top talents?
So this is not just helping them with the trust and wills. You're also trying to do some sort of a personal development. Because you're helping them define who they are, and then figure out really exactly how they can focus on identifying the success.
Correct.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah, well, because what that does, it makes it easier for me to help them find the right trust, the right business, to help them. Because now we know how they're thinking. Now I can communicate with them better. Even with students in martial arts, I have them to do the same thing. And they're like, well, why am I doing this, Eric? I go, because I want to understand how you're thinking so I can communicate better.
Okay.
And that is so essential. And the final test is enneagrams. Like those 3 baseline tests can give you an overarching theme of who you are. Once you figure out who you are, the money comes easy. And that is the biggest thing that I share with all this stuff that I teach and walk them through. And I'm talking to someone that makes $1 billion a year to someone that makes $100 a year. It's the same test.
I like that. I mean, that's the title of my book too. Everybody knows.
you are.
It says, who do you think you are, right?
Right, yeah. I mean, and those are just things that help people, because like when you help people like figure themselves out, figure out what they want to do, it makes earning money easy for anyone that's an entrepreneur.
Okay. Well, that is really amazing what you do for people. I didn't realize that you are covering all of those areas of life when they're working with you. So that is really good to know. Now, Daryl, in regards to your business, what is your strategy and how you're developing it?
I've spent over 35 years teaching self-defense and fitness in brick and mortar facilities. And I want to go back to a point that Eric talked about in the first segment, is how courageous it is for someone to actually step onto the mat for the first time. And that becomes a real obstacle. And for the last 4 or 5 years, I've dedicated myself to getting outside the martial arts and fitness world, where all the conventions and the workshops and more entrepreneurial. And here's what I found. What I found is I meet a lot of people who are, maybe they're doing okay with their job or their career, but they are missing something. They come to me like, wow, I wish I had your confidence. I wish I had this presence. And this is the word I go back to. Yep. So what I've been doing is putting together coaching where, yes, self-defense is a part of what I do, but also the fitness part, because Americans are horribly out of shape, in general speaking, and also the mindset to overcome adversity, which you get through training. If you get into a school, whether it's jiu-jitsu or Krav Maga or karate, and you get through it, you're going to develop these skill sets. But most people will not go into that for fear or geographical limitations. So now I do a lot of coaching remotely, but it's not just, okay, we're doing self-defense. It's going to be self-defense. Let's get you in shape. Here's a program. Let's make sure that you have the mental skills to overcome adversity, because so many people fall into depression because, as Eric mentioned earlier, many people have never really faced challenges, like real challenges. Yeah. Like they've had a rough day at work, but they've never been like, wow, I've got laid off. Wow, I just got divorced. Wow, my kid needs a special medical intervention that I wasn't prepared for. And that kind of mental adversity can really break people if they aren't prepared for it. So the coaching I do now it's fitness, it's self-protection, it's also a mindset to overcome those adversity, become a stronger version. And the tagline, my coaching program is called Harder to Kill, but it's happier, healthier, harder to kill. So I want people to be, when I think about America, I think about pioneer Americans who, they were on the prairie. They didn't know if they're going to live through the winter. Yeah. They were able to overcome adversity. They had diseases to go through, and we have a cushy life in America now.
Okay.
I mean, so I want to dig into that entrepreneurial spirit, that fire within everybody, so they can become the best person they can be and have the strength and ability to overcome whatever might come their way. And that will bring them more peace. But it's peace through strength, not peace through lack of challenge. If that makes sense.
Wow, that is so cool. I mean, while you're talking, while I'm listening to you, I'm like imagining these things that we could do an event, just martial arts, and really kind of help people understand the value of that and what it does to your other parts of your life, business and personal. It's just really amazing. Well, I see that you also have a hat here, and it looks like you guys, did we talk about pink today?
I mentioned passing, but yes. Well, I figured, we do our own merchandising for our company, and also I'll do for other companies too. But I figured, I'd bring in a hat, and I figured pink would be good, and I guessed right.
Oh,
I guessed right.
So cool.
So,
how did you guys know that? I mean, really, I like the hat.
Yeah, well, this is yours.
It looks amazing.
Yeah, of course.
Can I show it to everybody? Okay. So this is how it looks. You guys? Nice. All right. This is so nice. So thank you so much, Daryl. It says Krav Maga.
With the proper pronunciation and translation.
There's like a noun. Oh, okay. Translation, contact, combat. That's what it says. All right. Well, thank you so much for this. Well, I guess the Fabulous Lifestyle really honors the color pink today.
I like it.
And all right. Well, so I'm thinking, because martial arts is a good foundation for creating the personal development and business strategy.
Yep.
Now, how do you connect with the people that you want to work with?
Well, a lot of times with people that I connect with is just at different events and stuff. Like I talk to them, I see how they're doing and see if they're a good fit. And then one of the things that my business partner and I, we just finally decided to bring back is a thing called the Jiu-Jitsu ministry. It's where people can come down on a Wednesday evening, and this is families, kids, whoever, anyone that wants to learn the art of jiu-jitsu, they can come and meet us up at the Torrey Pines Church, and we have mats out there where they can come join us, and I will walk them through the basic foundations of jiu-jitsu. And it's open to anyone. It's free, and the only thing is we ask is for a donation if you want to make. And if you don't have to. It doesn't
That's
matter.
all.
And the reason is that we know how important it is to bring people together and overcome fear. I mean, and that is one of the things. And I put together a book with another black belt buddy of mine. It's called, Jiu-Jitsu Unlocked. It's the ultimate beginner guide to jiu-jitsu. And that's going to go live on December 1st. And you can get a copy. I can show you a picture if you want to see a copy of that.
Okay, yes, please.
Yeah, I have it
Go
here.
ahead.
We finally decided on the design. I think it's pretty elegant. Like, here, I can show you there. You can see it.
All right. Well, here, okay, so you can see it right here. Jiu-Jitsu Unlocked.
Yeah.
All right.
And that's how you bring people in together. And one thing that I think Daryl can concur with is that when you meet people at these different things, it breaks down a lot of different walls. You're able to get closer to them. And as you get closer to them, you can decide whether you want to do business with them. And I've picked up a lot of clients over the years just by sparring with them. Because they're like, wow, you're tough enough for me to be here. Now I can trust you with my trust. I can trust you with my assets. I can trust you if I have a business idea that I need to have someone that I can talk to. Because what you've done, you've bridged that gap of trust. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. And it's probably the most authentic thing that I've seen with people when we've done that.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, well, we're ready for another commercial break here. And please don't go away. Stay with us. We have Eric Campbell and Daryl Johnson here at the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show.
Unlock the power within you with Who Do You Think You Are? Delve into the art of personal branding and craft a legacy that leaves an indelible mark on the world. Learn from real-life experiences and actionable insights, empowering you to become a leader in your field. Get your copy now and embark on the journey to unleash your true potential. Now available on Amazon.
In Karate Legacy and the Power Within, we don't just teach karate techniques, we share the inspiring stories of incredible martial artists. Latino Gonzalez, the father of karate, paved the way for martial arts in the Philippines. His legacy lives on through his sons, Rolando and Roberto Gonzalez, who starred in over 100 Philippine karate movies, captivating audiences and bringing karate to the silver screen. Then we have Patricia Gonzalez, a symbol of strength and resilience. After overcoming her own battles, Patricia's journey embodies the spirit of perseverance. Her story encourages us to face our challenges head-on and emerge victorious. Each character in this book has a unique journey, friends and students who have dedicated their lives to mastering the art of karate. Their shared passion not only deepens their bond, but also strengthens their resolve to uplift one another. Through these compelling stories, Karate Legacy and the Power Within reveals the essence of karate: courage, unity, and the relentless pursuit of excellence. Join us in celebrating these extraordinary individuals and discover the strength that lies within you. Grab your copy of Karate Legacy and the Power Within, available now on Amazon.
Welcome back, everyone, here at the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. I love that music. Marjana, you're doing amazing with the sound that we have right now. But we're back with Eric Campbell and Daryl Johnson. And man, I am learning so much from both of you and I love the fact that you are using martial arts as part of your foundation for helping people. And I think people really need to understand how to develop those skills. So I think in this time, Eric, I wanted to really get back to in terms of how you're educating people, aside from what you just shared. I mean, what is really the process of getting them to put together the trust and wills?
The process, I have them all go to our website, truetrustservices.com. And this is where the innovation comes in. We created an AI bot to actually go on the website.
Okay.
So that bot will answer every single question you have on trust. And on there, you can get our copy of the book right here. You can actually get a PDF that explains the whole process of the trust. And then you can actually schedule a call with one of our advisors.
Okay.
And that is the simplest way to do it. All the information's on that website, truetrustservices.com. And that is how we start. And once we get someone to fill out the application, either myself or another trust advisor will call them. And that's how we start the process. We want to see kind of what their estate is, what's their overall plan. And then once they put that application together, then we go, okay, we start the process. You know, how many assets do they have and what needs to be protected? Are they going to get married? If they're going to get married, we want to help them out before they get married, because it works a lot of times a lot better than a prenuptial agreement.
Now, what do you have in your company? Is it just you, or do you have other?
Oh, we have an extensive team of
Okay.
individuals on our team.
And how many? What are the people that's involved in the team?
Everyone has a different role.
Okay.
So we have our professional bankers, we have our tax attorneys, we have our CPAs, we have our senior partner, and then we have our admin. You know, people
Okay.
that just do the admin,
So
customer relation.
Okay, well, so it's not just you. You have all these people that's
Oh, yeah.
functioning in regards to what's needed.
Right. And
Okay.
probably the biggest thing is that we have guys that specialize in private banking. Because right now with the market and everything that's happened over the last decade, banks have been collapsing. And so we're always moving the accounts around for our clients, and we want to ensure them that they're okay. And that is probably one of the biggest things once you start realizing how important it is to protect your money, you want to make sure you have the right banking system set up for you. Because sometimes you can lose your money like that. A lot of people lost a lot of money at the Silicon Bank. I mean, their money's gone just because they had the wrong banking relationship. So we have a lot of relationships with a lot of private bankers. So you're able to get that type of care and need for money. And then if you have extra money that you want to invest for real estate, because we also do a lot of real estate investing
Look
as
at
well.
you with all the real estate investing made easy.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
another thing, because people want to be able to start investing money in real estate. So we want to unlock your 401k, move money around so you can actually have that money available for real estate. And then if you don't know where to get rental properties and stuff, we have a team that will show you how to buy, turnkey rental properties. And if you want to buy commercial properties, we show you how to do that as well. So once you come in as a client, then we kind of go, what are you looking at? Where do you want to pivot?
Okay.
And a lot of times when it comes to their business, we kind of talk to them about their business. What's the best tax advantages for you? Do you need bookkeeping? If you need bookkeeping, we have a bookkeeping service as well. So we really kind of diagnose where you're really at in your business and where you want to go.
All right, cool. Now, Daryl, I know there's a lot of karate schools out there, and I've heard, it's all different style of karate too. So how do you make yourself more unique in this industry? Because it is. I mean, sometimes parents just go to karate schools and that's it.
Yeah, most people choose their martial arts if they're going to do a brick and mortar martial arts on convenience. And the reality is most parents don't actually care whether or not their kids are learning self-defense, so long as they're getting focus and discipline and fun. And those are valuable attributes. The difference of what we do is in our brick and mortars, we actually, we have focus, discipline, and fun, but it's actual techniques. We have ground fighting, jiu-jitsu. Krav Maga is a conglomeration. It's an ever-evolving style. So and I've been doing jiu-jitsu since the mid-90s, so there's a lot of that in there. But for us, the distinction is, all these martial arts schools will do fun, discipline, and focus, but we will actually teach real self-defense. And with adults, they have a little bit more of an idea. They want self-protection, but they don't really know the difference between karate, kung fu, Krav Maga, jiu-jitsu. And so part of that is education. And some people, if they want a cultural immersion, they want that. They want to put the gi on, and they want to have the flags and the Shinto shrine. That's a cool experience. That's not what we do, but I want to say, ask them, what is it you're looking for? Do you want a cultural immersion, or do you want self-defense? Or are you looking for a fitness program? Or do you want to do something that was reminiscent of a movie you may have seen one time? because some people are like, oh, I saw Bloodsport, or I saw this movie, I want to do that stuff, and I totally get that. So for us, the people doing the actual in-person stuff, it's an education process of like, I ask them, I say, well, what is you looking for? What time schedules do you have? I have clients that I work with privately, and again, now I'm doing it globally. So the biggest challenge we'll have is like, well, I can't make the schedule; it's too far, and that's often code for I'm too scared to show up into a intimidating building and get onto a mat. So this is where that personal touch that I do with my remote clients and my my HTK clients is, because they don't have to show up in front of people they don't know. Now, most people will get over that if they show up, but it's that first step of getting them into the process. So I have an interview process that I do. So I still do personal one-on-ones, and take them through what you're looking for, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are, what do you want to get, what kind of injuries you have, et cetera, et cetera. If it's children, then I make sure they understand that the difference is what we do is your kid's going to have all the fun in a karate school, but they're going to learn stuff that is actually going to work. And that means there's going to be contact, as you alluded to. There's an actual interaction of humans as opposed to the more traditional choreographed kata style. We don't do that anymore. I mean, I used to when I did Taekwondo. So, so if that's what they want, that's cool. But some parents like, well, I don't want my kid to be touched by anybody because then this is part of the education process. Then there's schools that will cater to that.
Okay.
But so for us, it's just an interview. I get them on the phone. We do a 20-minute consultation. I see what it is they're actually wanting to do. And if it's a good fit, if it's not, I know hundreds, if not thousands of martial arts guys, local and abroad, if they want something that's unique, you know what, there's a guy right down here who'll do it. And what you're looking for is over here. And, you need to talk to Sensei so-and-so because he's going to do exactly what you want.
So it really boils down for both of you is, really making sure that the people get the information to educate them to make the right decisions. Mm-hmm. Because, for you, Eric, you have your team and you make sure that, you ask the right questions in terms of, how to look at things personal wise, in terms of the way who they are, right? Right. And then with you, you make sure that parents get the understanding of what focus they need to go to. So it boils down to the trust.
Yes.
Right? Because the thing is, I, as an entrepreneur, I don't just do business with anybody. I have to take the time to do my vetting, my due diligence in regards to doing business with anybody. That's why I also like to interview people. I try to dig into who they are and what they do, because that helps me make the decision. And for all the listeners out there, that's something that they need to do. They need to understand the person, their background. They're actually even proof of records. Because, how many clients have you done, Eric? How many people have been very happy with your services? Same thing with you, Daryl. I mean, we're talking about a lot of kids, a lot of parents that are trusting you. So those are the things that people are always looking for when they have to, work with someone like you. Now, quickly, Daryl, where is your office?
Well, the academy here in San Diego is out in El Cajon. We do a program 3 days a week. I teach all the time. So, I do remote training.
You do remote training?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do more personal development. So I use my martial arts and my fitness and my mindset background. So now I do personal development coaching, and my new book coming out is going to actually be focusing on men age 35 and over.
Oh, cool.
That's going to be my
So
specialty.
you're also publishing a book.
I am.
Everybody's getting a book. All right,
Everybody should have a book.
Okay.
If you've lived on the planet for a while, you have knowledge that shouldn't be stored in your head. It should be shared with the
And how many
world.
years were you in the...
I've been doing
this
martial
field?
arts since 1989.
1989. That's when the year I came here to U.S.
Oh.
1989. Oh, my God. Let's not talk about years. Anyway, Eric, what about you? Where is your office?
Our office, we have an office in Fullerton, and then we have one location out in Torrey Pines as well.
Oh, wow.
And most of
Okay.
the time, we can just meet with clients wherever they want to meet.
Yeah.
Because after COVID and stuff, we got really savvy just meeting people on Zoom and just meeting them one-on-one.
Okay.
Yeah, so
well,
a
I
lot
met
easier.
you at the San Diego Mission Bay Resort. That's how I ended up discovering the hotel for our women's group, because we had a meeting there. And it was a beautiful venue to have meetings too. But that is awesome that you have all this locations.
Yeah, well,
that you
I
can
mean,
meet
even
people.
the resort's a great way to sit down and meet clients as well.
Yeah.
You know, because you really get a chance to just see people how they are when they're having a meal. And I always like to do that with all our clients.
Okay.
And before we take them on as a client, we go break bread. We want to see if they're worth us, taking them on as a client.
Yeah, I encourage you guys to meet with Eric and have an amazing time talking to him about, your plans in the future, success, personal development. I mean, he's pretty much tapping on everything. And then Daryl, for you, I mean, I think, having that remote of teaching karate, that is helpful for a lot of parents because some parents are really tied up with, working. And it's kind of nice to still, give the best thing for their kids is to learn martial art. And did you know that I started my daughter at 5 years old, and she learned karate, and she also became a black belt.
Good for her. That's awesome.
Yeah. It's an amazing accomplishment. But I did that. The reason why I did that is because there was this kid in Riverside who was kidnapped. And she was 5 years old, same birthday of my daughter. She was 5 years old, and she was playing in front of the backyard, in front of the house, and a car just drove by and snatched her. And then she ended up dead, raped. She was raped. She was dead. She was found naked somewhere in the Riverside County. And when I hear that, I mean, this is so devastating for a parent. So I made a decision. I want to make sure that my kids can protect themselves.
Yep.
And I think for all parents out there, especially nowadays with the sex trafficking or human trafficking, you got to get your kids, in a position where they can defend themselves.
I started my daughter when she was not quite 3, and she's been doing it ever since.
Yeah, that's smart.
And then when it comes to, putting a good foundation for your family, financially, Eric, you help them with that. That's an incredible, position to be in, to be able to bless those people and help them understand what they need to do to have a fabulous lifestyle, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, if anyone wants to come meet me in person, we have that meetup group, Coffee, Networking, and the Path of Success. You can find us on meetup.com. Join the group and come meet us and come meet myself and the other people of our team, because I make myself available to help people. Because I just talk to people, whether they transact with me or not. I'm concerned about, hey, do you have that information like we've talked about? And can your life change a little bit? Okay. And that's what I'm always about. That's what our firm's about. And really, our goal is to help as many families as possible before we go on to the next realm. And that's it. Because we want to build that generational wealth. We want to help anyone that has wealth. Well, how do you get it to the next generation? And how do you make sure you do it without being overly taxed?
Yeah.
And that's what really drives us.
Okay. Well, we have one more segment with this, guys, so don't go away. This is a Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, and I'm your host, Marie Antoinette Wade.
Meet M. Teresa Lawrence, a beacon of hope and transformation whose life's works spans continents. Born in Cuba and celebrated for her philanthropic work, Teresa's journey reflects her dedication to empowering communities globally. Through her Leadership of Play coaching program in Jackson, Wyoming, and literary works like Gloriousness, she encourages a unique approach to leadership, embracing creativity, collaboration, and a childlike wonder for resilient, authentic living. Join her event, the Grand Butterfly Gathering, for a transformative experience where hundreds of people will gather virtually worldwide and on location at the town square in Jackson, Wyoming, dressed as butterflies. This event symbolizes a beautiful connection between nature's harmony and human unity, and is a great opportunity to raise funds and awareness for children's charities worldwide. Visit our website to register for the Grand Butterfly Gathering now, butterflymarch.com.
Unlock the power within you with Who Do You Think You Are? Delve into the art of personal branding and craft a legacy that leaves an indelible mark on the world. Learn from real-life experiences and actionable insights, empowering you to become a leader in your field. Get your copy now and embark on the journey to unleash your true potential. Now available on Amazon.
Looking to attract your target market without soliciting or doing the cold calling? Call Marie Waite and book your consultation. Branding gives you the power to create a unique and classy perception of your business for your target audience. A marketing plan without the right branding will always cost more, take longer, and tend to deliver subpar results compared to a well-branded business. Marie Waite is a branding strategist who formulates effective marketing and media programs to promote your business in building your name, brand, and legacy. Marie has over 10 years of experience and a proven record of creating strong brand content for business owners, entrepreneurs, and companies using her creative ideas, recommendations, and innovative programs. Book now at mariewaite.com or call her at 951-378-5316, 951-378-5316.
Welcome back, everyone, here at the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show. And today is such a great day with information from Eric Campbell and Daryl Johnson on martial arts and making sure you put a solid foundation on your financial. And so, Eric, I want to give you this time to share a couple of minutes of the best advice you can give people right now and to all our listeners.
Oh man, that is all right. This is $1 million answer for everyone. Make a plan for your life. If you don't make a plan for your life, someone else will. That is probably the most important thing I say. Make a plan for you. And if you don't know how to make a plan, get a hold of myself, get a hold of Marie, get a hold of Daryl. Because the three of us combined can help someone find what's important in their life. Because so many people live that dismal existence and they go, "Oh, my life sucks." I go, "What's your plan?" "I don't know." Well, that's why your life sucks. So I'm going to say the one caveat, everything, it isn't even about what I can offer you. It's just make a plan for your life. Make a plan for your life and do it right friggin' now. Tony Robbins is great. You can get Zig Ziglar stuff. There's Jim Rohn. There's so many other amazing people that can tell you how to find your best life. Once you find that plan, guess what? You become happy, you become wealthy. And wealthy is not just money. It's the wealth of really healthy relationships and the wealth of fitness. That's probably one of the biggest things. There was that Netflix thing, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. You see a lot of people do not take care of their health and they're just miserable, and then it transcends everything else. And I say, hey, live a happy, vibrant life. Make a plan for you.
Okay.
That's probably the best thing. Make a plan for you.
So what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
The best way they can, you can give me a call. You call me on my cell phone, 858-220-6865. Text me, call me. Either myself or one of our staff will help out. Go to our website, True Trust Services, type into our little chat bot, and we'll get the information to get with you.
Okay, let's repeat the phone number again.
858-220-6865. That's my cell phone. I put it out there for people to call because I get hundreds of calls, but it's for people that want to grow their lives and protect their assets.
There you go. What about you, Daryl? What's your best words for the listeners?
When I work with clients, one of the phrases I repeat frequently is don't let perfection get in the way of progress. Yeah. So a lot of people will use this as a crutch. I can't take action because I don't have everything lined up right. So I have a concept in my teaching called MASTAR, which is minimum action step to achieve results. So even if it's one tiny thing that moves you closer to your goal, do that goal because motivation will follow action. Once you take a little action, now you do the next one. But when I'm working with, especially with fitness clients, is they're like, well, I can't lose weight because I don't have my meal prep done. I don't have the gym membership done. I don't have the I don't have the right shoes. I don't have the right. No, man, just get up and walk 10,000 steps. Just do that. And then with martial arts, the thing is, like we talked before, is just go to the website, send me a message. And if you want to do training, whether it's personal development, martial arts, or fitness, take the smallest action possible that's at least scary to move down that pathway to the journey where you're going to be, where you want to go. So that is just don't let perfection get in the way of progress.
Okay, and how did they get a hold of you, Daryl?
The easiest way is coachdaryljohnson.com. or Coach Daryl Johnson at Instagram, or Coach, if that is the easiest way. My phone numbers are there, email is there. You can see the different programs I have, but it's Darryl, Darryl. There's 18 ways to spell my first name.
All right. Well, if they didn't catch it, you can always connect with me, Marie Waite, and you can call me at 951-378-5316, or you can contact KCAA for more information. Anyway, I am so happy. Thank you so much for both of you being here.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
We
thank
learned
you
a
so
lot
much.
from both of you in regards to martial arts and financial success. So at Fabulous Lifestyle, we're here every Sunday at 3 o'clock p.m. And don't forget, make sure that you connect to everyone. Have an amazing, fabulous lifestyle. All right? So see you next week.
Welcome to the Fabulous Lifestyle Radio Show, where we talk about food, fashion, finance, and foundations of life. We are live on KCAA Radio Broadcasting Network. KCAA is affiliated with CNBC, NBC News, and NBC Sports. We are sponsored by Sheltered Studios, Fire Connect, and Building Solid Foundation.